Hi, good night, everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am live to take your immigration questions. So if you are going through the process, thinking about going through the process, or you have been through the process and you have immigration related questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comments right now so I can answer your questions. So as I get started, as I wait for your questions to come in, I'm going to formally introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green cards in the United States. I think I see another Sharifa here. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments at any time. Doesn't matter if I'm talking, doesn't matter if I'm answering another question. Just start throwing your questions in the comments or use the Q&A. So I find that if you're having a problem, you're seeing that I'm not seeing your question, go ahead and put it in the Q&A box, and that should be successful and I should be able to see it. So Sassy Pine 29, if my interview is tomorrow and I'm sick, would they give me a different date? So especially now, what you'd have to do is call and reschedule. Follow the instructions in your notice. They would especially appreciate if you reschedule if you're feeling sick, especially during the pandemic. So yeah, go ahead, follow the instructions on your interview notice to reschedule. Teacher Steve 37, hi, it's nice to see you here. So Don, Mike, for you, how long does it take to get your green card interview after the I-360 approval? So you could be looking at 2 years. So 2 years for the whole process. By the time you get to the end, it would be the adjustment of status interview. Sassy Pine 29, you're welcome. So go ahead, keep those questions coming. These are all great questions so far. Thank you for your questions and keep them coming. After getting the letter about I-130 processing, how long after that would I get back a letter? So if you got a letter receipt notice, then then the next step would, and it depends on what you're doing. Is it an adjustment of status, or did you just file an I-130? If you just filed an I-130, then the next thing that could happen is a request for evidence. Or if you don't receive a request for evidence, which that's usually good news, that means that you submitted everything, then the next thing would be a decision. So Jay Check. My friend had her citizenship interview and the lady was so rude. So unfortunately, yes, they do have officers that they're not all nice, unfortunately. I have found that they are in the minority, but it does happen. She asked her if she can say one of the questions again, and she said no. So yes, and now if she was denied, then definitely she may have recourse. So if she was denied, and especially if she was denied, if the officer refused to repeat a question, or if she didn't hear what the officer said, and then she asked her to repeat, she didn't, and then she gave it to her as a wrong answer. If she was denied citizenship on this basis, then let her go ahead, tell her to schedule a consultation, because there may be a way to appeal it, but it all depends on what the facts are. How long does it take after you have submitted your I-485 and work permit? So Teacher Steve 37, usually to get the work permits, it's about 6 to 8 months. Now for the entire process, you're looking at about 18 months to 2 years. And speaking of which, there has been a memo pushed out, and one of the changes that they'll be doing is issuing 2-year work permits instead of 1-year work permits, just because the processing times have gone a little longer. Processing times have gone over a year. They're trying to clear the backlog. So in the meantime, they now will be issuing 2-year work permits, which is great. It's much more convenient. So she passed the questions, but the officer said she will review her application again. Okay, so that means that she's going to have to wait. So I don't know why. Usually there is a reason why the officer would want to review her application again. And so it's important for her to get legal advice and be prepared for anything. Because usually when the officer says they have to review, there could be something in the application that she's concerned about. But I don't know the facts, and it's important for your friend to definitely get legal advice. So keep your questions coming. So far, these have all been great questions, and that's exactly why I'm here. Why not take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being here to answer your immigration questions? Perfect. Jay, thank you. I am looking forward to speaking to your friend. So keep your questions coming. That's why I'm here. Now, I'm here every day. Okay, so she didn't add one of the kids in her application. So definitely she should get legal advice and be prepared for anything at this point. I would definitely want to hear the facts to figure out whether, because the officer may be looking at misrepresentation, and that can definitely lead to a denial and lead to an opinion that she lacks good moral character. So it's very important that she get legal advice and have a plan in place in case anything happens, or if she needs to respond to any further requests for evidence. So keep your questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. I'm here every day with very few exceptions. So if you don't have a question tonight, but you know you'll have a question in the future, you can follow me, and as soon as you see me go live, you can hop on and ask your questions. So my fiance and I are getting married at the end of the month. When should we send in the I-485? So I cannot advise you specifically on when to send it in, because it depends on what your facts are, and it's best to get legal advice before you start anything, because if you don't, you may make some mistakes. However, keep in mind, generally speaking, there's no time limit on when you can file the I-485 after getting married. Some of my clients have gotten married and we've started right away on preparing and filing the application. So one client I had, we started preparing the application before they were even married and filed it about 1 week after they were married. So there's no limit, and everything went without a hitch with that case. So Orasa Allen, how do I pay for the consultation? So go ahead and call 561-405-4889 and speak to the scheduling coordinator. They will definitely give you instructions. Usually to pay for the consultation, you have to schedule the consultation, and then you'll be sent a link, and you would be able to pay based on the invoice. So Bortremo by credit card or debit card, or we also take Zelle and PayPal. So Bortremo, I'm a citizen, she's not. So I don't see the other part of the question. Oh, okay, so you are a citizen and she's not. Right, and that is exactly where, if you are a citizen and she's not, and she came into the country with a visa, just overstated, even if she's still out of status, but as long as she came in with a visa, she could still qualify, as long as there are no other disqualifying facts in her background. So Quintel 19, after my husband turned citizen, can I just go ahead and send in I-485, already sending the I-130? So it depends on your situation, Quintel. I can't tell you, I cannot advise you specifically what to do, because I don't know your facts, and so I would not want to be in a position where I'm telling you to send forms in when I don't know what your background is. But generally speaking, when one is filing an I-130 and they get upgraded to the spouse of a U.S. citizen, then and as long as you came into the country with a visa and you qualify for adjustment of status in every other way, then you can, the spouse of a U.S. citizen does have the right to apply for adjustment of status in the United States under those specific circumstances. So, Jay, I sent my citizenship application last year and I filed as married, but my husband and I are getting divorced after 9 years. Would that affect me? So, definitely you would want to update your, now if you, the marriage, no, if you got married to you got your green card through your spouse, and you have had your green card for 3 years and you have stayed married to your spouse for those 3 years that you've had your green card, then you can still go forward with the application. However, if your qualification depends on your spouse and you don't meet that timeline requirement, then you'd have to wait for the 5 years. Otherwise, if you are applying based on your own merit and not based on your spouse, your U.S. citizen husband, you just want to make sure that if your divorce is finalized, that you update it. You update it to show divorce, or you go in and you let the officer know upfront that you have changes to your application. So I couldn't tell, I overstayed my visa. So if you overstayed and you're married to a U.S. citizen, then spouses of U.S. citizens who overstayed can still qualify for adjustment of status. Thanks for sharing the live, Vicky. Can someone apply for a work permit or a green card on his or her own? In some cases they can. So there's an employment-based green card based on extraordinary ability. And there's also the green card if you're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or you are under 25 and you have a green card holder parent or a U.S. citizen parent, or you have a U.S. citizen son or daughter who's 21 and up and they're mistreating you, they're subjecting you to extreme cruelty, mental cruelty, then there is a way to apply for the green card on your own. So those are two situations where you would be able to do that. So Christina, thanks for sharing the live. What's the best way to get a work permit or a visiting visa? So the work permit, you'll have to qualify for other types of immigration benefits. So for example, you'd have to qualify for a type of immigration benefit that allows you to get a work permit, usually while you're in the United States. With a visitor's visa, you'll have to show strong ties to your home country. That means that you have strong commitments that will convince the officer that you will return to your country after a temporary visit to the United States. U.S. Embassy in Ghana says they are not open until September 2022. Oh my gosh. If to make sure that's accurate, you go to the website. So true or not. So unfortunately, I would have to go and visit each embassy's website to be able to tell what's going on with that, because there are so many embassies all around the world. What you can do is go to the U.S. Embassy in Ghana's official website and look at their news, look at their announcements, and I'm pretty sure somewhere on the website they will have information about that. So keep your questions coming. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So take advantage of that and put your questions in the comments now so I can address those questions. Now, I am a U.S. immigration attorney and I help clients to get their green card and status in the United States through legal means necessary. So if you're going through the immigration process, especially if you're thinking about going through the immigration process, you can use this as a starting point. I may not be able to give you particular legal advice, but I can give you general information that can possibly put your mind at ease or guide you as to what direction you need to be taking in your journey to coming to the United States or becoming a green card holder. So keep those questions coming. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions. So there's usually a delay. So if your question isn't coming across to me, just hang tight. Can you represent me even though I already sent my citizenship application? So yes, I would be able to. So one way that I could assist a client who has already submitted their application is attend the interview. So that's one way. Attend the interview with my clients. Sometimes there are sticky points in their background, sometimes not. Sometimes they just want to have a lawyer there to have their back in case something comes up. So definitely you can contact me. What we'll do is I require consultations for everyone to make sure that what their circumstances, they qualify and that I can represent them. Jude, now I am located in Boca Raton, Florida, but keep in mind I'm not limited by borders or state lines. As an immigration attorney, I work with USCIS offices all across the country as well as US embassies all over the world. You said that person have to qualify in certain areas to get a work permit. So yes, if I have an SSN, can I work here in the US? So, you know, having an SSN, it depends on if it's a valid SSN. So Jay, I am looking forward to hearing from you. So keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So what you can do is, if you really would like to get in touch with me, you can go to the link in my bio. And there you will see, go to the website, you'll see the contact information. There's even a contact form. Right now, there's an online chat, and that online chat is, it does have a live scheduling coordinator behind that chat that can speak with you through the chat. They can also speak with you on the phone. That person, the scheduling coordinator, will be available up until 11 p.m. tonight. So go ahead and you can call up until 11 p.m. to schedule your consultation tonight. So if, you know, I know you're not working right now, you may be winding down, maybe it's a good time to just get that off your list and schedule your consultation. Keep in mind, my number is that my phone line is 24/7. So even if you're up 3 in the morning, you wake up 5 in the morning, you can give us a call. The scheduling coordinator, though, will, when it's after hours, which is after 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, will give you a call back on the next business day. Do you represent clients out of the US, like Jamaica, for instance? Absolutely, Judine, I do. Many of my clients are clients that are getting their permanent residence and they're outside of the United States coming into the United States. So keep your questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions, so take advantage of that. If you want to learn more about me, go to the link in my bio and you will be able to read up about me as an attorney, the law firm, who we help, who we assist. I basically help individuals get their green card and status in the United States, as well as their citizenship. So go ahead and if you have a question, if you're going through the immigration process, I know there is a question that you have. You can also follow me and ask at another time. As soon as you get notice that I'm live, you can hop on too and ask your questions. So I don't see any more questions. So I am going to close out for the night because I don't see any more questions coming. But keep in mind, I'm here every day. And if I missed your question, if for some reason your question didn't come across, what you can do is follow me, and then as soon as you see me go live again, you can drop your questions in the comments and I will start answering. I'm here every day with very few exceptions. Also, there is someone who's available up until 11 p.m. Monday to Friday to answer your question. So Zuma Booma, so I see question marks, but I don't see your question. Okay, so I'm seeing a few more. So Purple Sky 95, if I have an EIN, can I work online from Guyana? So the EIN is not, it's an employer identification number, and it's usually for businesses, but it is not necessarily something that would authorize you to work in the United States. However, keep in mind when you're working from outside of the United States, that may not be considered working in the United States. So while an EIN would not give you authority to work, because you're outside of the United States, you're not necessarily in violation. Bortremo, you're welcome. Keep your questions coming. I'm going to be here for a little bit more because I see a few questions. Bortremo, you're welcome, and thank you for that comment. That's what keeps me going every day. So I always like to close the night out with you, and it's been a good night. These were great questions. And so tomorrow I'm looking forward to getting some more good questions from you. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that there are no more questions. But if for some reason your question didn't come across, or you feel like you'll have a question in the future, go ahead and follow me. And then as soon as you see me go live, just hop on and ask your question. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.